we have all experienced bad customer service one time or the other. It is the ill-informed, incompetent, and most of all, simply rude service attendant who feels they are doing the customer some kind of favor. It is being kept on hold for 1 hour when you call the customer service line. It's the representative you finally get on the line but doesn't care. Or worse still, the representative who does care but can't do anything for you because of the system prevents him or her from doing so. Bad service, it seems, is prevalent in many businesses, so much so that it has become the norm for many consumers in our society. How can a business exist without pampering its customers? What happened to going to the extra mile and exceeding each customer's expectations with service that sells? Welcome. This is Bridges, working for a sustainable Nigeria. I'm Mujima Controller.
Bridges, 10 p.m. every Thursday on the network service of the NTA.
On the program today, this episode of Bridges, we'll look at bad customer service in the country, its impact on the economy, and its impact on our corporate image as a nation. Welcome. On the panel, I have with us very strong Nigerians who feel that things can change, and that's very, very, very hopeful. So I'll start here on my extreme right, Mr. Emmanuel Abolo from Rover. He's done a lot on management in terms of what you expect from a customer and what you expect also from the consumer. So, sir, you are one. I also have here with us Alhaji Gadba Ibrahim Gusau, who is the President, Nigerian Association of Small and Medium Enterprises in Nigeria. Sir, you're welcome. We have Professor Mabel Eweruma from the University of Abuja. Ma'am, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Mrs. Bola Adeyinka, Consumer Protection Council. Ma'am, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, these are the panelists, and as usual, we have Nigerians here who are going to speak to build a bridge to ensure that it is not the norm that we provide only bad services, but that we are all involved in improving services in Nigeria. So, to all of you, welcome. Quickly, I'd like to start from the President of the Small and Medium Scale Enterprises. It's important. Now, what is your take on this bad customer service?
Thank you very much. Well, bad customer services in Nigerian businesses, you see, for entrepreneurs, small and medium enterprises, for example, we like to make sure that we supply a customer the best quality good and providing the services. But if I may say, what really causes bad customer services is really the following, and I will be very brief. One of them is the production of standard goods, substandard goods. That is one of the problems. Secondly, and some customers, some producers providing services, and also the production of counterfeit or products. And of course, the key issue is lack of humanity, lack of commitment, patriotism. So that is why it will always have bad customer services in the businesses. And I think Nigeria is trying to see how we can find a solution to this. We need, first of all, to educate the people that are producing.
Okay, so we are going into recommendations to improve the services. Right, ma'am, what's your take on this?
Thank you once again for having me here. I believe bad customer service is a fallout from negative interaction dynamics between the seller and the buyer. That is, whoever patronizes a business expects good service, expects humane, or positive interaction at the desk or at the counter when he or she goes to procure goods or services. However, a major factor that I know causes bad customer service is employee dissatisfaction. When an employee is disgruntled, when he knows that the boss or the owner of the business makes a lot of profit and does not, cater for the welfare of the staff, you can have bad customer service. And as we speak today, you will agree with me that it cuts across every business organization, whether private-owned business or government business. However, we should also look at it from another perspective. In as much as we say the customer is king, the customer should also be a good customer. And so it's a give and take situation.
Okay. Now let's come to you, Apollo. Now let's look at what really makes a bad customer service.
Well, talking from the healthcare perspective, if you run through the hospitals, there's bad customer services, which is like a new normal. It's like a standardization of deviance. Everybody assumes that is how it's supposed to be. If you look at customer service or customer satisfaction, a simple equation of expectations and experience will balance out what satisfaction should be. If anyone is coming to your hospital or your facility, there's an expectation. And then, when he gets to your hospital or your establishment, there's an experience. So how you manage his expectation and how you manage his experience or the moment of encounter will determine the level of satisfaction. So if I can come to a particular facility and I'm not satisfied, whereas the same level, because of my level of expectation, I will feel unsatisfied in one hospital, but I will feel satisfied in another hospital because of my level of expectation. So,
but the general standards.
But the general standards is that when you're moving into any organization, you have your expectations, and then you have your experience. And experience is the soft part of that organization, which is the moment of encounter. Right. So if you're looking at it across board, people think that being nice alone can bring customer satisfaction. No. There is also a system factor. The design of the organization can improve or reduce customer satisfaction.
All right. So let's go to the Consumer Protection Council, where all this come to play. What's your take on this discussion?
Thank you very much. I just want to say that customer service simply means satisfaction to the consumer. When a consumer is satisfied with the goods or services purchased, it means he has enjoyed customer service. Now, one of the things that Nigerian businesses do not take into consideration is the fact that customer satisfaction translates to profit, customer loyalty, and increase in your profit. If businesses are meant for profit and customer satisfaction is a critical component of profit and customer loyalty, then you wonder, why is it that Nigerian businesses do not provide good customer service? And then there are many factors, Nigeria generally is still at the very, very lowest web of satisfaction. Businesses are done to consumers as a matter of favor, as opposed to what obtains in other countries. So it is not a favor that you are doing in business. You are in business for profit. You are in business to retain consumers, your customers, and only their satisfaction will retain them in business.
Well, do we have capacity problem? Quickly, any of you can start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Any of you, quickly. Sir.
Yes, we have capacity problem because we don't have trainings. You have people in customer service that are not trained.
Do you agree, sir?
Yes, and I will also add to say that really there's need for capacity building to make people to understand the importance of producing the best quality services to be provided to the
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes capacities are built, but the service provider, tries to hide under certain cloaks of godfatherism, or when he or she knows that that service is essential and the customer cannot go elsewhere. So the capacity may be built but unutilized.
Do you agree with that?
Yes. You see, there's an assumption that once you are working in an establishment, automatically you can provide services. You need high level of emotional intelligence to be able to handle certain status.
You need
high level of emotional intelligence, and you don't learn that in school. You have to learn that through some other training programs.
So training and retraining, it's very important to provide better services. Well, we'll take a break now. When we return, we'll go over to our audience, who I'm sure have been taking down notes. I saw some people writing copiously. And let's hear from them, their views on this program. You're watching Bridges. We'll be back in a moment. This is Bridges, and we are looking at bad customer services, its impact on the economy, and of course on the corporate image of the country. Now, we're here with our audience. I want to know what experiences you've had, if you let us know briefly, and do you think there's a remedy in place, or should there be a remedy to make the economy grow faster? Any of you can start. Right, ma'am, you have the microphone, so let's hear from you. Yes.
I am Ngozi.
Let me give you my microphone. Okay.
I am Ngozi Ekova. I work with National Orientation Agency. Actually, this issue of customer service had always been a concern in Nigeria. I've heard from the panelists, and there is an issue that has been disturbing me, and this is the issue of the syndrome of quick to make money. Because people are quick, they want that money easily, they go for substandard goods. And, of course, if you buy substandard goods, if I come to your office or your place and buy goods, and those goods are not quality goods, and the next time, definitely I will not come back to you. I don't know how many of you also that have visited some hospitals, and you're busy talking to the person that will issue the card, and then the person is busy answering calls. Instead of answering you, the person is busy making his or her calls until he or she satisfies himself. That is when he will now talk to you. I think it should be addressed too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I've thoroughly enjoyed this discussion. My name is Obinna Urabo, a public affairs analyst. I'd like to go along with the gentleman from Rover to say that it's symptomatic of systemic failure. Now, if you pay peanuts, you hire monkeys. Just to also agree with Professor. Now, I believe strongly that a system that if you don't have the infrastructure for customer service, then your staff will manifest it. It's very obvious. And there are also cultural issues with this. See, customer service in UK is not the same as customer service in the Eastern Asian countries. Customer service in Nigeria and the African countries is also different. However, if you put all of this together, customer service is relatively as a global practice level or platform that we need to arrive at. But we need to agree as a people that customer service is at the heart of profit making. It's at the heart of growth. It's at the heart of national development. Even from the government down to our homes, we need to understand that if you treat the customer right, then your business will move. The nation will move. If you do not treat the customer right, he will talk to you with his legs.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Linus Obinna, a director with Civil Awareness and Economic Empowerment Initiative. Yeah, I just want to look at it in this direction, that the customer service starts before the real business, before, during, and after. And one of the reasons why I think we don't have second-generation businessmen or people in Nigeria is because of customer service. Sometimes there's a gap in communication between the customer and the service provider. And when such gap is recorded, there's virtually nothing you can do. Secondly, there is what we call transferred aggression. Maybe you have problem in the house, in the home, which you brought to the business. There's no how you can definitely satisfy your customer because of that. The third aspect is when the input is not measured with results. Maybe you are putting a lot of input and the organization is doing fine, but in terms of remuneration, you are nowhere. So these are some of the things that also cause problem in achieving the best when customer service is involved.
Thank you very much. I'd like to speak to courtesies. Is it important? Is it important in business?
My name is Obin Nawaboreze, Youth and Students Advocate for Development Initiative. Talking about customer service in Nigeria, I want to take it from the angle of our educational system. Because I believe that whatever a society needs should be taken to the educational system. In Nigeria today, it's difficult for students to graduate at the appropriate time. And they are the customers. They are the customers in our higher institutions. Today, polytechnics, college education have been on strike. And when they graduate, that's the mindset they are graduating with. That the person that needs their services is not supposed to get the right kind of services because they did not get it. In most cases, you find out that students will not graduate at the appropriate time, not because of their own problem. Maybe in our universities today, we have what we term missing results. Somebody will stay 1 year, 2 years after he or she was supposed to graduate because of what we call missing result, and it's not his own fault. So when just like he talked about transfer aggression, when he or she graduated from the school, coming out to the outside society, that's the same attitude that the person will give out to the people that need the services. So we need to go back to the educational system and start correcting it from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am Angela Iyajif with the YSAD initiative. I would like to say yes, courtesy is needed in a customer service. Like me, I would like to be treated. If you treat me right when I come to buy something, I want to come back again because I feel like you like me, and I'll come back. Like the professor said, most of these service providers are not maybe directly the boss of the services they are providing. Maybe they are workers, and they are not having enough benefits maybe from their boss, and they would like to transfer the aggression to the normal people that want the service to be provided to them, and they end up messing the business up. And these things are mostly, and it's mostly seen in the maybe small retail businesses we are seeing around. That is where we really have this problem, and they need training. Most of the business owners don't provide training for them, and it's really a menace, and it has to be treated. Training should be provided for them so that they can.
Thank you. We have a man in this.
Good afternoon, panelists, my audience, and viewers at home. My name is Obiasogie Timothy. I work as an image maker for GIFT, an acronym for Good Luck Initiative for Transformation. The biggest failure in terms of customer service, I would like, is the power institutions. We've not been able to have enough power after so many years, and lack of power has caused a lot of service failure in all spheres of our life. For lack of time, or for short of time, I would like to say that we pay so much subsidy in the petroleum sector, and we've not had any customer or service satisfaction, as it were. So this money we'll be paying for petroleum sources, I would like the government to direct it to improve our power base and let Nigerians get power for free.
Next. Okay.
Moino. My name is Obrapo Chidiebere from Society for Reinvention of Core Values. I want us to understand that when we are talking about customer satisfaction, we are talking about values. And when our values are lost in terms of integrity, because you cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have discipline, you cannot give discipline. If you don't have self-satisfaction, you cannot give self-satisfaction. When somebody employs you to do the work and you don't do the work, you cannot satisfy the customer. So the point we are making here is that we still have to go back to values. Train people. Train people around and about you, about the work you have asked them to do. So at the end of the day, the customer who has come to receive services will leave satisfied. That is meeting the expectations. So our values are gone. We need to reinvite them and reflect them in the way we do our things. Thank you.
My name is Fulu Duke. What I want to say is that part of our problem is corruption, actually. You find some people get employed through the back door, or a big man recommends them. When they get on the job, they see themselves not more than that job. And for that reason, they are unwilling to do what they should do. Because, okay, I got a letter from a senator or whatever, and she sees herself on that level. So you want to talk to her, she's already too much for her job. And one other thing is, even when you look at such people, some people, you go to some places, they want you to give them gratification. And they now tell you, it's time for me to go to lunch. He wants you to bribe him to do something. So you're not even getting attended to because he wants you basically to bribe him. So one other aspect is that this corruption thing is actually fueling this bad customer service in a lot of sectors. Even in the private sector, you find that the girl at the desk is probably the MD or somebody's girlfriend. So she's not willing to do what she should do. So I think we need to address those things. And if you get a job, it's on your level. You are being paid for that. Do, for God's sake, do what you are paid to do. I think that is what part of our problem is.
My name is Ine Thelma Ako. I am a broadcaster, and I want to say that customer service is the bloodline or the core of any customer retention. And it's really an issue, like a lot of us have said here. And basically, I want to say that somebody who has a proper upbringing coming from your home, from the family, apart from the orientation issue, given by the employees that we've said here, somebody who has, a proper upbringing from the family is able to, show courtesy and, respect for the clients that come every day. I have actually had a lot of experiences, and I was shocked at a point when I came to Abuja newly. I got to one government hospital, and we had a crisis on ground, and somebody told me that he was going to pray and that we needed to wait. And I saw that as very embarrassing, and I don't know how that is. And I'm also going to add that at another point, I also got customers, client, how do I pay this? I got a lot of satisfaction talking to one of these communication people, the phones, and the way the lady spoke to me, man, the only thing I forgot to do is to ask her name. And that was coming from Etisala. She was so warm. She was so warm, so friendly, and I wish that could just continue. Thank you.
Finally, let's hear from him.
I'm Ado Solomon. I work with NOAA. I want to say that as Nigerians, we have no reason not to provide our customers with the satisfaction they require. By our training, the Nigerian family system is such that we are taught at infancy these core values of respect, courtesy, and the likes. Like you said, that emotional intelligence is what we grow up with. But as we continue to grow up, certain things come into place. I just want to give one small example. A friend of mine traveled to South Africa. He said when we went to the gents, a gentleman who takes care of the place said, "Welcome to my office." On coming back home, he found that our gents were not properly kept. It showed that we were missing something. That this Nigerianness, when we travel outside, we see best practices. When we come home, we don't practice them. I think that is the question we should ask ourselves. We don't have any excuse not to provide our customers with satisfaction.
Thank you very much. Our time is far spent, but before I go back to the panelists for their final word, ma'am, I see you're anxious about saying something. Quickly.
My name is Delete Whitfield. I'm public relations, and I think training is essential. But what is the point of spending money on training when no one follows up with it at all? And you still get the same. You go somewhere and they told you this person's been trained, and yet she does nothing about it. She said, Madam, this is the way we've always done it. It's not good enough.
Right? It's not good enough at all. Yes, quickly, final word from, let's start from you, ma'am, from the prof. Quickly, final word, ma'am.
I believe we should set our priorities. The employee must be aware of organizational goals, and it is those goals that you let your publics aware of when you are patronized for business.
Sir?
Yes, I think way forward, there's a really need for more orientation. What I mean by that is that, you see, the country is now trying to do something on standardization. And if I may say that European Union is helping Nigeria through UNIDO, because the critical issue is that we don't have a standard. We have standards in some places, SON is doing something, but I think there's a need to have a standard, and with that standard you can be able to ensure quality and ensure services are provided properly.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, as far as the Consumer Protection Council is concerned, consumer is king and customer satisfaction is not negotiable.
And sir?
Yes, we have to look at the strategic vacuum and then improve on engagement, both on staff engagement and then the client engagement, and look at the environment in which the people work, because there is something looked at called the power of context. When people work in a particular environment, it affects their attitude towards their clients.
Bridges is on Facebook page. It's been scrolled on the screen. Visit and let this conversation continue. I want to thank you all, particularly the audience, for being part of this discussion, and also our eminent panelists for also coming. This conversation continues, and next time we will bring to you all the reactions that we got on the Facebook page, and you can visit us on this address showing on the screen. We'll be back same time next week, building bridges to a sustainable Nigeria where standards will meet best world practices. Thanks for watching. Same time next week.